blessings through his eyes. I've had a truly amazing experience. I have been going through a spiritual crisis for about a couple of years. My life was going through a big testing phase, but I was very strongly connected to my guru, who constantly guided me telepathically. Still does. I was struggling to cope with the energy surge during the Kundalini rising phase. My body was in a mess, with social isolation and physical ailments accompanied by loss of sleep and hunger. I was guided by my guru to seek help from Mohanji. Of course, I had been following Mohanji's blogs, posts, YouTube videos, etc., all as per my guru's guidance, with whom, as I mentioned earlier, I only have intuitive connection. When I reached out to Mohanji, he gave me reassurance with unconditional love and advised me on what I should do. And as soon as I followed Mohanji's advice and guidance, I had this amazing experience which I would like to explain below. Today, as I received Mohanji's speedy response to my message, I followed his guidance and began vertical breathing. After 30 minutes, I chanted the Shiva mantra, as he had mentioned in his response. I realized that my body had relaxed and the unpleasant intensity of the situation had disappeared. It was hard to keep my body upright, since the tension from last 3 nights had disappeared. I was too relaxed and didn't know how I managed to get into bed. I fell into deep sleep that was so sound that it felt longer than the 1 hour I had really been asleep. Eventually, as I slowly awoke, the protection mantra given by my guru was automatically repeating in my head. I felt uneasy again. Not again, I thought. However, I felt guided by my intuition again to search Mohanji's Facebook page, though I didn't know what I was really looking for. Eventually, my finger stopped at this photo of Mohanji's eyes. I don't know what I was doing, but somehow I felt to hold this picture in front of my eyes and focus on one eye at a time, at specific intervals. For about an hour, I experienced these intense blocks of heavy energy lift up from back of my head. I was guided to see how I acquired these burdensome emotions as a small child, due to certain forced and manipulated emotional overloading, which I was carrying to date. But it was too strong for me to unhook from on my own. I experienced Mohanji's strength in dislodging these blocks as I lifted up in coiled snake-like formations and reached the top of my head. But it was impossible to stay focused until they released from a hole-like space at the top of my head. Each time I felt weak, I felt Mohanji's presence holding me strongly and sending even more strength through his eyes. It went on for about an hour, but I did feel slack at one point due to the intensity of the situation. At this point, I felt like a little lull, like a mother would cradle a sick child. As if to reinvigorate me, I felt a glimpse of Mohanji's eyes through my closed eyes in the backdrop of Kailash Shikhar. I felt rejuvenated, and the remaining blocks were also lifted and released from the top of my head, as Mohanji kept sending more and more energy. My head shook violently from side to side, as it always does when energy is unable to flow through my system. Today, that stagnant lump of heavy emotions was blown apart by Mohanji's powerful, loving gaze. I cannot describe the feeling of elation and lightness I experienced as a result of this very difficult yet liberating episode. Mohanji's presence felt to me like that of Lord Shiva's, powerful yet understated. Innocence, like a child, very simple, very unassuming, as if it was nothing more than a little puff of smoke. I can tell you it was not easy to release these energetic blocks which I have suffered with all my life. I cannot begin to thank Mohanji for this selfless act of subliminal protection, though I have never met physically or known him personally. After I shared this experience with Subhashri, she encouraged me to write about it. It is not natural for me to share my experiences publicly for the fear of looking self-important or delusional. But I cannot deny the immense difference this episode has made in the quality of my life. As a result of this, I received the most beautiful gifts, clarity of perception, and an openness to share. Though it doesn't end there. After sharing this experience, I had been perceiving the vision of Kailash Shikhar and Lake Mansarovar repeatedly and clearly for several days. But it had an important distinction. Kailash Shikhar, in my perception, at the third eye, got brighter and kept rising up and up until it became a brilliant white and gold pillar of light. I had no idea why or what it meant, but it felt very positive to have that darshan, even though I do greatly revere Lord Shiva as well. I'm primarily a Krishna devotee. Hence, I couldn't understand why I received the darshan of Kailas. As I shared this, I closed my eyes again. Instantly, I felt immense joy. There was dancing. Lord Shiva was dancing. The excitement and laughter of an innocent child was contagious. I feel so privileged to be part of this group of friends who encourage you to share and support your experiences. Selfless, unconditional, divine love truly flows its grace through this amazing instrument called Mohanji. Long may it continue. In love and gratitude to Mohanji. Pranams from Sujata. Thank you.